Hey everybody, this will be my second My Top 3. My first was My Top 3 Assault Rifles, and you can find that in the description. This time I will be going over my top 3 light machine guns, the big bad beasts of the battlefield. Just before going into number 3, I wanted to say that all of these LMGs are overall all amazing guns, and I would suggest any of them for any situation. But I will explain why I put them in this order, more specifically throughout this episode. So, number 3, the LSAT. I actually didn't have any footage or gameplay of me using the LSAT till today because I never used it before, but I heard many good things, so I thought I would add it into the number 3 spot. So this gameplay is actually from today, and it's the first time I ever used the LSAT. So here we go. The LSAT has a max damage of 25 and a minimum damage of 18. It has the slowest RPM out of my top 3 at 650, but makes up for that with the least amount of recoil, the second fastest reload time at 5.9 seconds for both with bullets left in the mag and no bullets left in the mag, and also it's just behind the top LMG when it comes to how far you can shoot enemies from. Finally, its mag size is 100 bullets. All of these stats show you that it's clearly a great gun, especially for beginners of the support class with its low recoil, and I would suggest to use this gun in open large game modes like Conquest or Obliteration. But if you want to use this gun in Domination or Team Deathmatch, I would suggest staying further back, behind your team and not close to the enemy, since you will be at a huge disadvantage against the high RPM assault rifles that everybody likes to use in those game modes. When it comes to the attachments I would use for the LSAT, for the scope I like the Coyote Sight and Hollow, and I use those for all LMGs. For the grip I would use the stubby grip, same thing, I use that for all LMGs. And for the barrel I would use the flash hider, since the LSAT already has a high and almost even accuracy and stability, so I wouldn't use the compensator or the muzzle brake. Finally, I always put lasers on my LMGs to give it just that much better hipfire. Number 2, the AWS, or Oz, however you like to say it. So overall, I would actually say this is one of the best guns in the game, and it can really be used in any situation and or game mode. But I'm still going to put this LMG as number 2. The AWS has a max damage of 25 and a minimum damage of 18. It has the second fastest RPM out of my top 3 at 780. It has the fastest reload times at 3.5 seconds for bullets left in the mag and 4.85 seconds for no bullets left in the mag. And it also has a mag size of 100 bullets. All of those stats, including the fact that it has an extremely high stability and not that much recoil, moving up and a little to the right, show you that this gun is really an unbelievable and almost overpowered gun. It's like an assault rifle and a light machine gun mixed together, making it a powerhouse in Conquest, Obliteration, Domination, or any other game modes you can think of. This is also a great gun for beginners since it's so easy to use. And when it comes to the attachments I use for the AWS, for the scope I like the Coyote Sight or the Hollow, like I said before. For the grip, the stubby grip, like I said before. And for the barrel, again, I would use the flash hider since the AWS already has an extremely high stability and a high accuracy, making the compensator and muzzle brake kind of pointless a little bit. So, now you're thinking, after the praise he gave this gun, how could any other LMG be better? Well, you must have forgot, this is my top 3 light machine guns, and though the AWS could be the best LMG and one of the best guns in the game, I like the MG4 way more. So, without further ado, number 1, the MG4. So yes, it has the slowest reload time out of my top 3 LMGs at 6.2 seconds for both bullets left in the mag and no bullets left in the mag. And yes, it has the most recoil, moving up and to the right. But on the other hand, the MG4 has 200 bullets, which kind of cancels out the high reload time if you're keeping a close watch on how many bullets you have left, and your positioning on the battlefield, as in whether you are close to enemies or not. It also has the highest RPM at 800, giving it the ability to almost compete with most assault rifles. Finally, it can shoot the furthest. And I can definitely back that up because I don't know how many times I've killed snipers who should be easily beating me. Overall, I wouldn't suggest this gun in every game mode, though I use it in every game mode, and the recoil can take time to get used to, but now that I feel I have mastered this gun, I feel like I can just destroy anybody in my path. When it comes to the attachments I use on the MG4, for the scope I like to use the coyote sight and sometimes the hollow. For the grip, I use the stubby grip, and for the barrel, I actually use the compensator for this gun because the stability is really low compared to the LSAT and the AWS. And when using the compensator, you gain just enough stability to make the recoil manageable. Finally, I didn't put the M249 in this top 3 because its stats are identical to the MG4, other than the recoil goes up and to the left instead of up and to the right. And also, I've never used it before, so that's one of the reasons too. Once again, I would suggest all of these LMGs and the LSAT, especially the LSAT and the AWS for players who have never used the support class before. And as well, when using all of these LMGs, try to do quick, small burst fire, because if you unload everything, you won't have the best accuracy and it will be really hard to control the gun. I hope you guys have learned something and maybe I inspired you to go wreck some people with one of these beasts. Try them out, have fun. Thanks for listening and watching, and I will have my top 3, which will be carbines, up very soon. See you on the battlefield.